This episode of the Fight Within podcast is presented to you by Meguiar's. For over 115 years, Meguiar's has been carefully creating and producing advanced formulas with cutting-edge chemistry to deliver a show car perfect appearance. Whether you're showing on the fairway, finalizing your car for auction, or simply getting your beloved car ready for a weekend drive, Meguiar's is ready to help with their premium car care products to make every automotive surface look its absolute best. Meguiar's, reflect your passion. Make sure to visit them at meguiars.com.
What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Fight Within podcast. We do not have a guest today, but it is our first show together. When we had talked about it before off camera, and we had said that we want to just start filming episodes of just us, so that people can get to know us.
No agendas.
No, just freestyle.
We just want to talk, get you guys to know us. Basically, we just want you guys to love us.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, why not, right? That's why you listen,
Yeah.
No, on a serious note, though, every single person I've ever talked to, I think I've told you this, but every person that knows Manny, one of the first things they always say, man, I love that guy. Always.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
that's nice.
That's true, though. It's like, if you don't like us, then that kind of sucks.
Then turn on another podcast.
Exactly.
But no, I wanted to, part of what you do and how I know you in kind of in that light is you're an entrepreneur and you own Hen House Coffee, and we actually went to high school together. I didn't know that until later, but now being a business owner, like how in today's climate with COVID going on, with all these restrictions and closures, what are some of the things that you did to kind of overcome those struggles? Because it's a whole different struggle than maybe what you've been used to before.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, when we had Tony on last week, it was, listen to him talk about pivoting and for them, it's we had mentioned last time, it's different for every person, every business, every industry, but for them, at least, what I was listening to Tony talk, he was like, they were able to pivot faster because they already were doing like influence marketing and all that stuff. Honestly, when COVID started and like business started dropping, for the first time in 10 years, at least for myself, that was the first time I've ever dealt with any of that, and it's, I feel like it's so hard to try to navigate, not just the COVID component, but this entire year, as we referred to, the climate that we're living in, and everyone's just really hypersensitive feelings towards everything. I feel like that's something that's harder to navigate than just the COVID component. But for us and for our business, we're not a restaurant, but coffee shop, bakery, you're still considered food establishment. It's still restaurant based. Obviously, we took one of the hardest hits as an industry as a whole. And pivoting and moving and adapting, I feel like was just one of those things where you just had to do it. And I've constantly told people, whether it was like a customer being angry for X, Y, and Z, whether it was a staff member being angry X, Y, and Z, whether it was myself being angry for X, Y, and Z, I've constantly just made it my theme of just saying, like, there's not a playbook written for this. There's not one person or one organization or one, playbook that we can go to look up, hey, what do I do when there's a world pandemic and I have to close my business, lay people off? What do I do if I can't pay this bill in order to pay that bill because of a pandemic?
Yeah.
So there wasn't a playbook, and there still isn't a playbook. So I have so much more respect for the people, everyone, and just like through enduring all this, but business owners that have been able to just adapt and change. It's hard. It's something I think that a lot of people don't know what it's like to be put in a position to make those decisions. And I don't know, man. Again, I wish there would have been a playbook. But my biggest thing I could say for this whole time is just figuring it out. Whether
do you find yourself having to reset like every day because or are a lot of the issues like the same that you deal with?
I feel like from March to November, let's just say March to end of November, I honestly can't even tell you how many times we had to change things because the state, or let's say like federal said something, then the state said something, then the county said something, and then all of a sudden the city that you're in is saying something different than the county saying something different than the state's doing something different than every other freaking state. So it's like it's been a constant evolution of change.
Yeah.
But for my particular business, and I know a lot of kind of food service, customer service, like in front of people-based businesses, at least for us, there's been a lot of things that we haven't changed since March, and it's been a blessing and a curse. But, something as simple as not taking cash within your cafe anymore or within your business. Like,
was that a decision that you made purposely? Or?
Well, no, because like at the very beginning, there was these guidelines that came out. Hey, obviously social distancing, wear masks. We stopped serving everything in any type of like to stay plateware. Everything went to go. And then the cash that, trying to eliminate transactions from customer to staff. And it's, I'm if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this. But it started off, as like a guideline. Hey, this is what we should be doing. Yeah. And then it kind of just kept going. And then for a while, I don't know what it's like right now, cause I haven't checked, but, at least my particular bank, even when cash was, I guess, safe again to be using, like the bank that I bank with, they were only giving one roll of coins per business customer. And so we just got in the habit, and we were like, you know what? I made the decision. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to keep doing everything in to-go cups. We're going to keep not taking cash. We're going to keep trying to eliminate as much as we possibly can to make, customers and most importantly, my staff feel safe. Again, man, there's not a playbook. So it's, not taking cash hurts us. So like when we get yelled at by a customer for saying, why don't you take cash? It's like, well, one, we didn't ask for this. Two, we're suffering more than you not being able to pay with cash, because every time you freaking swipe your card, we lose a percentage. Yeah. So, and I think that goes back to like what I was just saying about everyone just having such a heightened sense of
it's more sensitive.
Yeah, of everything. It's sensitive not taking cash. And then someone.
But are you having to become more sensitive because they are? Because like I just flat out, I don't. Not that I don't believe in masks, like just to a quick like review of where I stand on it. Like, do I think the virus is real? 100%. Yeah. I think it's 1,000% real. Do I think they're blowing it out of proportion and taking things to the extreme? Yes. Like if you look at data and you look at the numbers, you guys can go do your own research when it comes to that. But even like masks, like I don't wear them, but I'll wear them to like Target or big box retailers out of respect for other people. Yeah, yeah. But I don't want to. Like the rebellious side of me is like, this thing's stupid. I don't want to have this on. Yeah. But at the same time, I know that I have to like love on other people. I have to be sensitive to what their feelings are. But at the same time, I don't agree with it. You know, and it sucks that like we're seeing stories on Instagram. This dude in New Jersey that has a gym has like $92,000 of fines because he won't shut his gym down. Yeah. Because he wants people to start working out, which is ridiculous to me, because not that he's doing that. It's ridiculous that they want to shut him down because people are trying to get healthy. Yeah. I know, man. I think if 2020 has taught me anything, I'm usually pretty like firm on a lot of my beliefs and stuff like that. And I think being put in a leadership, I was talking to somebody about this last night about a particular leader that has to make decisions that are not popular sometimes. And I told this individual last night, I was literally saying it's really easy for the outside world to criticize people for doing this or not doing this or doing this or not doing that. And then until you get put in that leadership position and you have to make the choice, whether it's right, wrong, whether you agree with it, disagree with it, until you have to be the one putting yourself in that place to make that decision, like you don't understand what that's like. And that's why there's so few leaders, right? But when it comes to like all the guidelines and restrictions, like I've learned personally, whether I believe in something or I don't believe in something, especially with my type of business and just my involvement with like my church and a bunch of other things. And this is what I feel like is missing. And I hope if anyone gets anything out of this, it's simply the fact of like, it's okay to disagree. Like it's totally okay.
And I feel like we've gotten away from that, right? Like, let's say you don't, I don't know, man, you don't like this color yellow on my shirt. I feel like we live in a world right now where if you don't like it, I'm gonna be like, well, dude, screw you then. We're not friends.
Like cancel culture.
You know, yeah, like, oh, you don't like this yellow? You know, it's okay to not like something. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to have opposite beliefs. And like, I feel like as a world, as a country, we've lost the ability to just have rational conversations, understanding that it is literally okay to not agree on everything and be okay with it and be freaking nice about it, you know?
How much do you think of that? Like, how much do you think the internet or Google or having all these answers at your disposal, not that it's bad, but how much of that culture do you think plays a role in this?
I think it's huge. I think we got a lot of people with a lot of opinions and automatically become an expert in a subject because they have Wikipedia or, you know, whatever the case may be. And that's okay. Like, that's great. But at the same time, don't be a jerk about it and let other people still have a different perspective.
Sure.
And be okay to talk about it versus just so quick to be like, oh, I'm going to smash my coffee cup over your head because you said this.
It's like what you said. Having disagreements is fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like we were talking about, and without going into too much detail, we're like official now. we have this business. We have a partnership. All these good things. We have these really cool shirts. We'll talk about that later. But as we were going through the paperwork, we were talking about disagreements, and I said we're bound to get in an argument.
Yeah.
It's not always going to be I love my wife. I'm still married. We've been together for 16, 17 years. Do you know how many arguments we've gotten into?
Probably a lot.
We haven't divorced. You're not going to leave.
Yeah.
You know, you sit, you talk it out. You sit, you talk it out, and you say, look, this is how I feel about it. This is how you feel about it. All right, well, let's come up with a resolution.
Yeah, and that's like my whole point in just like the climate and the culture of 2020, whether it's in business, in personal relationships, freaking sport, whatever it is. Why do we have to be so freaking quick to just jump down each other's throats? Like, we've literally, I say it all the time, but we've lost the ability to have rational conversations and rational discussions.
I haven't experienced it, but I've seen a ton of people talk about it on like Facebook.
Yeah, I've
and they'll
experienced
post
it
like,
a lot.
I've lost friends because of my political views or because of my views on COVID. And I'm like, are you like, that's messed up.
It's insane. And I've unfortunately experienced it numerous amounts of times.
Wow.
And it sucks, right? I mean, not just on like the business level. I mean, within the business, I've experienced, honestly, man, like people do not surprise me anymore. And that sucks to say, but this year has just been eye-opening to see how quick, you know, you could be like the top dog, the coolest kid on the block 1 second, and then you do one wrong thing, say one wrong thing, wear one wrong thing, and in today's world, it's like, you're gone, you're out, you're next, you know? But it's unfortunate, but I've honestly just, for me personally, tried to make it like a huge goal just to understand all sides of everything. You know, and there's a lot of things like I don't necessarily think I would want to do when it comes to, you know, different restrictions or guidelines and stuff like that. But I've really tried to put my own selfish desires and wants aside and really try to look at it collectively and try to figure out like an actual solution that solves the problem for everyone. And I think for me personally, for this year, that's been like the biggest change for me. You know, again, I've been trying to think from all perspectives, all sides. Whether it's like, I don't know, whether it's sitting outside and not being able to sit outside. Like, well, let's figure out how to make this work and be safe and comfortable for all parties involved, like my staff, including, you know, not just my staff, but the customers that come in, you know, and really just being able to put my own, hey, let's do it this way and this way only aside and say, all right, team, how can we do this?
Has that been hard?
It was hard at the beginning, not giving up like the quote unquote final say. That's not hard. It's been hard trying to please every single person in every single situation. I mean, that's impossible, right? So it's just been trying, you know. People are so freaking quick to like jab at you or knock you down, or you know, are so easy to like give you negative feedback and criticism. And you know, anyone can talk from the sidelines, but the second you get thrown into a game, dude, unless you've had experience,
it's the same thing.
yeah, you're
like
gonna get tackled.
Fans are always, they should have ran this play at the end of the game. Well, yeah, now in retrospect, looking back at it and being on the outside looking in, sure, but do you feel like this experience has made you a better leader?
1,000%.
Because we've had way different experiences. Like, I got really fortunate to get hired on as a marketing manager for a local plumbing company here, literally like in the beginning of COVID. Like right when everything started getting shut down, and I was like, I just got this job. And they're like, no, we're an essential business.
Yeah.
Like, I had no clue what that meant. But I get to go to work every day. I get to go coach, you know, hopefully still coach more. But I get to go coach. I have this like routine that I get to go do when a lot of people were losing their jobs. They're being furloughed. You know, so I had to look at it from an employee standpoint. You had to look at it from a leadership standpoint.
Yeah.
And thinking for the last 10 years, I've ran my business like this.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden you got to change it.
And if you don't, no one's going to, I mean, you get help. Obviously there was help. Yeah. But if you don't change it, there's no one that's going to come in and be like, hey, Ben, we really need to do this. You know, like if I didn't make certain decisions and adapt and try to recreate things and try to be inventive or have an amazing, like, supportive team around me to help me get through these things, a 10-year business would have been gone, you know? So yeah, to answer your question, I think this year's like radically made me, I don't know if I would use the word better leader. I think it's made me a more well-rounded leader.
Just a different leader.
Yeah. And I mean, it's given me the ability to, again, to be able to try to put my own thoughts and perspectives aside and try to look at it as a bigger picture, which, you know, that's hard to do, right? Like being able to put your pride aside and be able to be like, all right, how can we effectively make this something that's beneficial for all parties involved?
I think that's huge. Talk about that. Touch on that a little bit more, because as men especially, to put your pride aside. Yeah. And say, no, this is how I've done things. This is how I'm used to doing things. Yeah. Like I was talking to my wife the other day, and when I go home, I'm a dad. I'm a husband. If I tell my kids to do something, I expect them to do something, not out of fear, just out of hey, that's Dad. We love him. We want to respect him and honor him. So we're gonna do what he says. When I go and coach football, I expect my players. Yeah. To do what I say, because I'm coaching them. I'm trying to help them become better at what they do. Mm-hmm. When I go to work, because I'm not the owner, it's hard to shift that hat. And I've had a lot of trouble this year putting that hat on, to saying, like, how can I serve you? Like, how can I help you? Because in these two major parts of my life, I'm the quote unquote leader. Yeah. And in this other part of my life, I'm not. Yeah. I have to sit there and look at it from an employee standpoint. For you, coming from a boss or an owner standpoint, how was it to put your pride aside? You know, and how was that process like for you to be like, no, man, I gotta, like, what did you do? What did you think of? Was there anything that helped you to put that aside?
I mean, yeah, several things. I think... I mean, honestly, a lot of it's like, it's my faith that I have, you know, and just being able to just know that, like, God really has a plan, whether you believe or not. Like, that's to each their own, you know, like, again, we can agree to disagree. Yeah. But for me personally, knowing, like, you know, like, God's got this, that was number one. Number two is the days where I literally wanted to bash my freaking head against something or smash something, or just freaking Hulk smash my cafe, or, you know, just those days where you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm done. I would come home and be able to have, like, my awesome supportive wife be like, hey, yeah, it sucks, but that's why not a lot of people do it. And, like, come alongside of me and just be like, you know, it's going to be good. And then the third component of that is just like knowing and watching and just being willing to say, I mean, if we want to survive, we just gotta, there's no egos, there's no right or wrong, there's no, again, no playbook. So it's like, if we want to survive and we want to change and we want to adapt, we want to evolve, it's however we need to get there, you just do it, and whether it's my idea or not, I could freaking care less, I wouldn't be where I'm at without the team that I've had supporting me through COVID. There's been, I've had an amazing team. My core team that has really helped me, just navigate and have literally stuck with me through all the chaos. Those are the people that you would, for lack of better terms, you'd go to war for them.
Yeah.
And so it's been a combination of all of that, like my faith, my wife, and just, again, the ability to be able to put the pride aside for the greater good of like your business, know, because again, if I didn't have the team, I didn't have the ideas, I wasn't willing to change, move, pivot, rotate, whatever you want to call it, who knows if I would have a company left,
How do you think social media has affected that? Because of, not just because of the marketing, because if you look at, I think now with instant gratification.
Yeah.
If you post a video, you can see how many people viewed it. If you post a wall post, you can see how many people liked it.
Yeah.
If you have a question, you can go to Google and get it answered. Being an entrepreneur and a CEO isn't like that. Some days you're going to have great numbers. There's going to be that instant gratification of like seeing your results like that and seeing them quick.
Yeah.
Other days you're not going to have that. So how do you think being an entrepreneur or a CEO now in today's world is different than even 10 years ago?
Yeah. Well, technology and media, I mean, I always refer to it as like a blessing and a curse. There's a lot of people that make fun of me and call me like the grandpa, because when it comes to technology, man, count me out. There's so many things with technology. I'm like, I don't freaking know how to do this. I didn't even know you could do this.
Yeah.
And so it's been a joke. Like, everyone makes fun of me. They're like, for such a young dude, like, why you're like a grandpa. I'd rather write freaking notes on a piece of paper, instead of like type a note and then send it up in the cloud. And you're like, wait, what?
Where is it at?
Yeah, so I think so. It's been a double-edged sword. I think it's brought a lot of good, but I also think it's brought a lot of bad. I'm a true believer, whether you're on the fence about this or you're on this side of one thing and this side of, if you're on the left side of something, on the right side of something, in the center of something, you're on this side, you're on that side. The media has been like our own worst enemy. I it's mind-blowing to me just to see how much hate they have like bred, and it's like feeding candy to a bunch of little kids,
Well, it's the same thing. It's instant gratification.
Yeah,
People don't want to do the research. They just say, "Oh, well, no, they told, the news told me, that anchor told me that this is what's going on, so it's 100% true."
Yeah, and it's awful, man. There's people in these media outlets are the ones like banking and going home to their nice places and stuff like this, and causing all this chaos and turmoil, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, they just fed us this, like through a freaking raw steak in the middle of a pack of lions or something like that. It's just been insane. But I think, again, it's a combination of everything, man. I want us to be able to get back to, and I don't see this happening anytime soon, unfortunately, but being able to get back and just have conversations,
Yeah.
And again, it's like, I don't know why we've lost that ability to just have a freaking conversation and be okay to not see eye to eye on things.
But is it hard to not have that culture anymore? Because for you guys that don't know, we've talked about it a ton, but Ben owns Hidden House Coffee. You have a store in San Juan Capistrano, another one in Santa Ana.
Yeah.
And your third one, is it open or no?
No, it's been closed since March 17th in Laguna Hills.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but that's literally why people go to coffee shops for.
Yeah.
It's to sit down and talk.
Yeah, to have community with people.
Yeah, and now you can't even do that. Is it weird seeing it? Because I'm sure you had it, for 10 years. That's what people went there.
Yeah.
They go eat, they go drink coffee, they go hang out. Sometimes people work there. Like, has it been weird?
Yeah.
To shift that? Like now, because if you were to just guess, how many of your customers would you say were people that went there to just pick up a coffee and go, and how many would you say that actually hung out and sat and wanted it to be in the store?
Honestly, I would say 75% of our business was people coming to hang out. Whether they were coming to hang out to work specifically in the cafe, or coming to have a coffee or talk, whatever, be by themselves and write in a journal or something. Like, I would say 75%. 25% were the ones, oh man, I got to go to work. Let me grab a coffee, head out, maybe say hi to somebody, at the coffee shop, and then go to work. So not seeing that has it sucks, man. Cause like my energy for a long time in this business was like derived from watching how busy our shops got, watching those long lines, watching like a crap ton of people sitting there talking, laughing, hanging out, crying, whatever the heck they were doing. Like, it was a really cool thing knowing like we built that. Like, without us having that, those people wouldn't be there. I mean, they would be somewhere else, but like creating that and being a part of it, it was like something that sounds so cheesy and lame, but it felt alive. Like, the atmosphere and the feeling of these places felt alive. Like, think about when you walk into a restaurant, you don't hear music a lot of the times. You hear, the sound of talking. And now you go into a restaurant, it's like freaking, you hear a newscaster talking because there ain't nobody in there, and you just hear it. So it's just like, I don't know. It's been a weird year. The only thing I can say is just like, I know a lot of people keep saying, I can't wait till this year's over. Like, sorry to break it to you guys. Like, there's not anything magically going to happen December 31st. Like, it's not gonna just like flip a light switch. I think right now, and when I talk to people and when they ask me, it's like, guys, let's stop staying stuck in this current mindset. Let's figure out how to adapt and maneuver and figure out things moving into the new year. Let's not just wait for a new year. Let's start now.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, because again, it ain't changing December 31st at 11:59. There's not a magical freaking fairy switch anywhere, and it's just like let's just figure it out now. Let's be able to have conversations with people. Let's not be jerks. I was going to say something else, but I was like, let's not be jerks, and just figure it out,
Yeah.
But
I'm a true testament of this coffee really works. I had a cup before.
No, he freaking chugged
and I can't
a hot
stop
coffee.
moving my feet. I can't stop scratching my knee.
He literally chugged a hot coffee.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't even know who does
that. But this guy. But on that note, does it bum you out? Like, you fought for our country. You proudly served the United States of America as a freaking Marine.
Yeah.
And between you and I, everyone that I know is like Marines, like, are hardcore, and all the other military branches suck.
We all talk that to each other.
Does it bum you out to like see the state that our country's in? Just honestly, just with freedoms.
Yes, 1,000%.
Not with anything else.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into politics because that's a different story.
Yeah.
But it just bums me out that we live in the greatest country on the face of this freaking planet, and there's a lot of people that don't see that. Like, I've been all around the world. Like, to some of those people, I would say, if you don't think it's so great here, try going somewhere else. Try going to a third world country and seeing what it's like. Do we have flaws? 1,000%. Do I agree with half of the crap that goes on? No, not at all. But that also happens everywhere. It's not just a here thing. So it just bums me out when you just to see everything. But again, that's why we live in America. You can have those opinions and beliefs. If that's what you want to believe, great. Like, again, I whatever, I don't agree with it, but I'm not going to throw a fit about it. I'm just going to be like, cool. That's why we live here.
What are you going to do? Waste your time, energy.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it bums me out, but at the same time, no, we're freaking, we're humans. We're going to all mess up. We're all going to do some wild things. I just want to make sure every person I encounter and what I stand for is what I'm actually saying and claiming.
Yeah.
And I want to just do everything I can for the people that are in my sphere, For sure. But to that point too, like, I'm excited for our next week's guest. We have a Orange County Sheriff coming on.
I know, I'm stoked.
Yeah, he'll be able to. I think it's going to be cool just to be able to hear his perspective on things, and what it's like to kind of go through his daily life, I guess.
Oh yeah, especially from that lens, and just seeing what, especially in the climate we're in now, where everyone's hating the cops and thinking that they're evil and that they're all racist and they're all mean, and so it'll be neat. I mean, I think we did great for our first time. So.
Yeah, no, we honestly just want to be able to like start doing this more. Like it's rad having 100%. Guests, obviously, but we want you guys to be able to know who we are. Manny's got a rad story. I mean, fighting professionally, that's freaking insane.
It's all right.
That's wild, dude. You got punched in the face for money.
We can talk about that on the next episode.
And then
it's hard.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I mean, and that's what's cool about just being able to come here and talk together and watch you chug hot coffee. And so
it was good. But I mean, we're excited, guys. Like Ben said, we just want to keep doing this so that you guys get to know us a little bit more and not just tune in because there's a really cool guest. Like we want you guys to we want to build a following, and we'll talk a little bit more about the shirts. Ben got them printed. They look awesome. I'm sure we'll throw some B-roll or some footage so that you guys can see the whole design and see the back and the design. But if you guys want them, if you're interested in them, just DM us on our social media platforms, or you can email us at thefightwithinpodcast@gmail.com. We're working on that email. We know it's super long, but we're working on it. Just thank you guys for watching. Just make sure to please share, like it, subscribe to it. We're going to be posting updates and posting a lot more often on social media for you guys. And just remember that everything was impossible till someone did it.
Bam!
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Kingdom Nutrition. Make sure you guys go and visit their site over at kingdomnutrition.com and enter promo code MFW10 to get 10% off your next purchase. Kingdom Nutrition carries the best sports supplements on the market. They manufacture and curate their own line of supplements with the highest quality ingredients, including a lean protein, weight gainer protein, pre-workout, BCAAs, and an array of other products. They've recently created the world's first vegan chickpea protein, and it tastes amazing. I'm a big dude. I like food, and I like chocolate. So when they told me it comes in chocolate and vanilla, I got really happy. But if you're a workout enthusiast and you want to change up your diet, change up your protein, go check out their vanilla chickpea protein. It mixes well with anything. It'll blend great with a smoothie. So to get your hands on any of these products, just make sure and go visit kingdomnutrition.com. Remember to enter promo code MFW10 and get 10% off your next purchase. Let's go.